So, if you've been paying much attention to the world recently, you'll have noticed there's been a bit of a lockdown, and Ruth and I have been getting pretty bored. So we've had the bright idea of making some videos, and for this first one, I've thought of an interesting challenge to attempt. I'm going to eat only orange food for 24 hours straight. Quite the invigorating idea, I know. But this would prove to be a dramatic journey of self-discovery and development. I'm joking, it was a stupid challenge I did because I was bored, but it was pretty fun. Fortunately, my mother, who's the one on the right, if that wasn't clear, is an absolute legend and agreed to buy me all the orange foods I could possibly need. So the challenge was a go for the 4th of August. That morning, feeling encouraged by the poster of Robert Peel in the background, I made a nice display of my meal plan for the day. Breakfast foods, baked beans, red Leicester cheese for lunch, everything I need to make some nice orange lentil soup. Shortly after, at about 9:30, it was breakfast time. So normally I would have milk with my cereal, but unfortunately, milk is white, which means I'm not allowed to eat it today. I'll just have to have my cornflakes dry. Despite my poor choice of words, it wasn't as bad as you might think. And before I knew it, I was on to my next task for the day, picking out only the orange Skittles from a mixed bag. A few minutes later, I was doing the same to a bag of tricolore pasta. The rest of the morning was boring, so will rejoin me at about midday. So I'm just preparing the carrots for my 12 o'clock snack. I'll be having lunch around 1, so it's a fairly small snack. I don't actually know whether most people would count a mini pepper, an apricot, 3 carrot sticks, some mini crackers and 2 Skittles as a small snack or not, but I said what I said. About an hour later, I started preparing my lunch. Timing was of the essence, as I needed to ensure that the beans and the flatbread finished cooking at almost exactly the same time. I also needed to be ready to grate the cheese on before either of them cooled down. My time management game seemed to be on point, because my cheese on beans on flatbread certainly seemed to be good enough. As I sipped my water reflectively, I realised I was beginning to miss my usual diet of mostly frozen peas and sweet corn. I spent the first part of the afternoon trying to distract myself with some music and television. Around 4:30, I started preparing the jelly for my dessert later that evening. With the jelly safely solidifying in the refrigerator, it was time to work around my sister, who was making normal person food, and work on tea. I was making orange lentil and carrot stew and serving it with the orange pasta I'd picked out earlier. Despite my misjudgment of portion sizes, I certainly seemed to have enjoyed the meal. The potato wedges my sister had made were a welcome side dish, and I thoroughly enjoyed the jelly and orange fruit salad I'd prepared earlier. 1 orange Skittle later, and the day was as good as over. I'm now approaching the end of my orange food day, and while technically my 24 hours won't be up until tomorrow morning, I still thought it was a good opportunity to reflect on the day I've had. So, what did I learn today? Firstly, I was surprised by the variety of foods and combination of meals I was able to make and put together, despite only using foods of one colour. I was also surprised at the nutritional quality of what I was eating. In fact, my diet today wasn't a lot more unhealthy than a usual day, aside from perhaps the Skittles. Most importantly, I learned how inconvenient it is to film a 24-hour challenge when you share a house with 4 people. So, I now have much greater respect and sympathy for the families of any vloggers who make these kind of challenges professionally and unironically. I continued to waffle on for another minute or so, but this was pretty much the end of the action. In all seriousness though, I had enjoyed the day. The food had been pretty tasty, especially considering I had done way less planning than I should have. I had surprised myself, and I'm also grateful to my family for putting up with me and cooperating. I'd also like to give a shout out to Mum for buying the food, and to Dad for filming the first part of the video. Thanks for watching, and peace out.